And here we are, guys. Welcome everyone then. Everyone, to game number 1 between TaToH and TheViper. The first thing we're gonna do is change the freaking colors. Yellow and gray, really? Come on. We're going to have TheViper in the red then. This TaToH's got the colors like this. Although we could keep TheViper in yellow actually. What are we going to have afterwards? Nomad and Arabia, right? Well, depending on which version of Arabia we get, yellow might be a little bit of an issue. I guess we're just going to keep TheViper in the red. Before we get to much farther into the game though, let me just fix the scoreboard. And let's keep going. So for game number 1, Poles and the Chinese for TheViper and TaToH respectively up in the north and down the south. Hey TTL, welcome. By checking the civilizations, we'll see that TaToH with the Chinese will begin with 3 extra villagers at the expense of 200 wood and 50 at the expense of 200 food and 50 wood. It's gonna have in addition to that 5 extra line of sight on the TC, with the addition of 5 extra Garys, so actually population support per TCs, and for the team bonus, we finally have for the Chinese 10% extra food on farms for free. Thing that I did not mention though is a discount that they get on upgrades of 10, 15, and 20% of the feudal castle and imperial ages, so technologies come cheaper for them. As for TheViper, he is playing with poles. That means 0.33 gold out of each stone unit that he collects. It's gonna have also 5, 10, 15, 20 HP regeneration on villagers per minute, and the Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Ages respectively, as well as... Oh, there we go. I think we are completely caught up right now, right? Yes, okay. As well as access to Folwark, and for the team bonus, the Poles will give TheViper 1 bonus damage from Scout Light units against Archer units, so we can see already TheViper going for the wall, so this is one of the things that you are expecting from this map, that it's going to be pretty easy to wall. And something else that I've learned recently is that you're also going to expect the main goal to be always forward. I feel like this is something probably I might have known in the past and then forgot about. But yeah, the main goal, of course, for TaToH is going to be forward. It's going to be super exposed. The secondary goals, however, they are not particularly close. On the right-hand side, very far away, TaToH's gonna need to go for very greedy, extensive walls towards the right-hand side in order, there we are, to secure those resources. We can see that because of the location of the barracks, is probably not gonna go in for walls like this. And this would allow him to secure one of the secondary goals. This would allow him to secure both the stones inside his base, right? In one wood line, technically, as well. And if he sends villagers over to this wood line, that's going to give him enough presence around the map to protect the walls around this area so they don't get easily breached. Meanwhile, taking a look at TheViper's map generation, he's already going for the walls, so we don't need to worry about that. However, the way that TheViper is walling himself allows for him to secure 2 goals, actually. So he's got the main gold in front of the TC, he's got a secondary goal on the right-hand side, and the walls are already coming up, so it's going to be completely secure in front. On the left-hand side, it's going for the archer range already, and then on the right-hand side, it's going to wall himself like this, which means he will secure 2 golds. He's going to secure also both the stones, so pretty similar to TheViper with the addition of 1 extra gold secured. However, no safe woodlands over here, so they do trade resources. We have for TaToH 1 stone. We have for TheViper 1 extra woodland, right? And then over here, this area of the wood is going to be safe for TheViper, for him to collect wood from, but he is collecting from both wood lines in front of his DC. So TaToH's playing with Chinese. He's got the opportunity of going for pretty much anything he wants. However, he did go up with a build for scouts, and he's got the stable already out, and that is why we saw him earlier just try to stay around here with the scout to see if there was a chance of him preventing the walls from completely closing from TheViper, but because it was not possible, you see that he's not training any extra scouts. He's got the stable, yes, but it would not make any sense for him to try and and go for scouts right now, right? Like, what is he going to do? He cannot go forward. The Viper, on the other hand, the Viper is thinking of archers himself. However, you can take a look. He's only now sending villagers to gold. So it's not something that he was planning to go pretty heavily into. And if we take a look at this scouting information, he is already aware of the walls coming in from TaToH, even the stone gate. So he also will refrain from going for archers himself. Good unit control for the Viper. It's going to end up taking the walls down. Well done. Right hand side. Viper's walls under pressure from the spearman. You cannot really say that's really a whole lot of pressure, can you? But the game has stabilized, and from this point onwards, we're just gonna have to wait until the Castle Age, because quite clearly none of these players is going to invest too heavily into trying to get any damage down on the village, even if TaToH goes for additional scouts. Does not seem to me like this is going to make too much of a difference. Yeah, he's actually just losing a lot of HP, and the unit control from the Viper, though, is so good. Allows him to chunk so much HP off the scouts from TaToH, so while we still have a higher military count for the bull player, the scouts over here are half dead, more than half dead, as a matter of fact, 2/3 dead. So yeah, it feels to me like going for the extra scouts in the end is just going to be wasted resource for TaToH, and he was risking wasting the resource because, of course, right? The walls were already up for both players. What is TaToH realistically going to do? Try to breach through? It's gonna force one villager to be idle from the Viper for a little while, and then both players just go out to the Castle Age. So TaToH is right now in a very interesting position because he's got a civilization that's got pretty much everything he needs to put a counter together against the Viper, right? With the Chinese, he's gonna have access to camels, and the Viper's not, right? He's going to rely mostly on cavalry, so TaToH's going to have that. However, Viper civilization is not so much about all the different things they can go for. Viper's civilization is mostly about the one or two things that they are extremely strong at, and I'm talking about Schlachter privileges, and I'm talking about late game Hussar plays with their insane farmer economy. Potentially even some gold units, of course, right? They're going to have their options, their bombard cannons, their arbalesters. So it's not just going to be Hussar in the late game, but yeah, it's going to be, I imagine, for the Viper, all about Schlachter privileges during the Castle Age, potentially early Imperial Ages, and then in the later stages of the game is just going to be spamming units with insane economy, while TaToH, on the other hand, is going to have technically, once again, all the puzzle pieces to put together something against the Viper, pretty much no matter what the Viper goes, but it's, the Poles are such a tricky set to play against. Like, even if you have a civilization with all the units you need against them, they're just so good at the things they do that it's very often not so much about necessarily the units you go for, right? But for the Poles, it's going to be about the volume, about the numbers, about the swarm. Look at the 9 relics. It's nice to have some scouts. I guess so. He could have gone for scouts when he was going after the Castle Age and click up earlier as opposed to going for the scouts earlier and delaying the Castle Age a little bit. In the end, it's going to be very close for both players though. The Castle Age is going to be here for the Viper now, and TaToH's only 6 seconds away from it. And wow, that is an instant TC coming in for the Viper. There we are. I guess having the scouts though out earlier would allow you to scout for the relics if you haven't seen them before, and right now it seems like TaToH is thinking of it. He sees 4 out of 5 relics. The 5th one is going to be beyond line of sight for him. I think it's only by 2 tiles. Yeah. And taking a look at the Viper's point of view, the Viper's been roaming around the map and he's in the same position also. For scouts, actually 4 relics he can see. And the 5th one, he cannot see it yet. And also key to scout around enemy base for possible sneaky armies. I would imagine that's why they were going for Spearman, but the mobility is not going to be the same, so I'm not going to give TaToH too much of a hard time about going for the scouts. If there were reasons for it, he would know, right? He would know. 40C is coming in right now for both these players as well. Yeah, and in the end, they did manage to get some good scouting information. Ulbara's coming out now for TaToH. This is so good for the Chinese even. Yeah, it seems like we're gonna have a boom fest. Viper already starts collecting some stone. One of the TC is gonna be next to the stone. So really starting to saturate. Yeah, the fall work. And I just love this mechanic. I just love this building as well. It's so satisfying to see exactly 9 farms, perfect to surround in a fall work. It's like for Age of Empires 4, they just fixed farms full stop, right? The mills are still going to be 2x2, and then they made the farms 2x2, and for Age of Empires 2 they were like, what can we do? Let's introduce a 3x3 mill. And now it's all good. Of course it's just for the one civilization, but anyway. Entities coming up for both these players, the relics. Oh! Conversion though, the Spearman gets converted, the monk goes down. Right now, I see only 3 relics on the map. The Viper was able to collect 1. TaToH was able to collect 1 without too many issues. On the left hand side, TaToH's going for this one. Second one, and the Viper. The Viper, well, he does not have any extra monks anymore. You can see that he took one of the monks down from TaToH, but that's about it. Here comes the monk from the Viper so far. TaToH's looking better. They have turned Ghost Lake into arena of sorts. And here comes TaToH with the scout and the Viper. Now, even with Sanctity gets knocked, and now we're gonna see yet another monk go down. Well played. Good unit control from TaToH. Doesn't that losing 2 scouts? But he's alright. I think this position, is it better to try and convert the unit? I guess if you can get away with converting the unit and then healing the monk, that's probably ideal, right? Because I think you can heal the monk definitely faster than the units from the Viper can take the monk down. Yeah, and it seems like TaToH is getting away with this, right? He converted both Spearmen. He's going to heal the units up as well. He's converted another one as well, and this is such a good play from TaToH. So good unit control. Even the Viper tried to do his best to take the monk down. That was extremely well played. That was really, really smooth actually from TaToH. He played all his cards right. Was an extremely optimal play. Definitely going to be a highlight of the player for me. However, the Viper has already scrapped enough stone to get a castle up, and we know what this means. He's playing with the pulse. We know what this is for. And the Viper is still on a single relic. TaToH has already dropped the 3rd relic and the 5th one over here. I'm not really sure if any of the players is aware of it. The Viper's trying to get vision of it. Of course, for all the Viper knows, TaToH might have already picked it, but it doesn't hurt to scout. Well, TaToH on the other hand, TaToH's got no idea where the relic is. He is scouting on the left-hand side. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he's doing too much on the right-hand side. Hey, TaToH. Welcome. And thank you for the follows today. As always, always appreciate it. And nice to see you guys around. The Imperial is on the way for the Viper. Damn, son! A scale bar than armor comes up. Now for the red player. Alright. Let's check. There's a castle on the way for TaToH. He's on his way to the Imperial Age as well. And the worker count is actually higher for the Spaniard currently. For the barracks, TaToH's going for pikeman. He's going for scale mail armor, so he knows exactly what's coming from the Viper. We know exactly what's coming for the Viper. Hey, everybody and their grandma knew what the Viper was going for. As soon as we saw the civilization, there's a second castle on the way for the Viper now. He could try. He's going for Schlachta privileges. Yes, he could try. And now that he's got 2 castles, maybe add some Oboch into the mix, which are gonna be fantastic against any infantry units, any spear line units from TaToH. But yeah, it seems like the Vipers, for the most part, thinking right now of maximizing production potential for cavalry. He's going for extra stables. It's gonna be 6. That's gonna be 6. I'm not really sure that's total. Yes, that's 6 total for the Viper. Let's get the light cavalry upgrade. A bunch of scouts coming up. TaToH's gonna try and collect from the stone on the left-hand side. Well, that's a little bit too late for him. The Viper is already there with a castle, and it seems like TaToH is not aware of it. And Cavaliers coming up, guys. The Viper's got conscription. He's got extra scouts, extra knights on the way now, finally. We see him go for the units he needed. And he knows that TaToH is waiting for him. With a thick cushion of spearline units in front of his 2 canoes. Yeah, and there we go. Now TaToH is aware of the Viper's present on the left-hand side. Now the Viper's going for a 3rd castle. And this could be bad. This could be bad for the Viper. That's not a lot of Chicanoos, though. However, the pikemen are coming up. Extra Chicanoos are coming in as well. And the Viper's trying to get the castle out, but it's not going to happen, though. The Chicanoos are already starting to shred the villagers into pieces, but the castle's coming up anyway. So, at most, the Viper will end up losing a few villagers, and the extra Chicanoos over there were not strong enough. Meanwhile, the Viper's got the knights coming out already. The Cavalier right now. Getting villagers down. Going after the 2 canoes. The pikemen are here, however. So this is not a good engagement for the Viper, and he bails. He doesn't now loosen a good chunk of the units, though. 3 or so cavalry units already down the ground for the Viper. With TaToH, he's going for halberdier. He's got plainmail armor already. He's got iron casting on the way in the Viper. The Viper's going for skirmishers. He's got iron casting on the way. He's just finished researching Balkan arrow as well, so skirmishers are going to be a little bit better. He still needs to go for bracer, needs to go for chemistry. I'm pretty sure he does not have it. And both players need to start going for trebuchets, right? As soon as they saw each other's castles, you're expecting to see them go for the trebuchets, and we already have 2 at hand for the Viper, who is going for 1 more, and TaToH's got 1 at hand. He's going for 1 more. He does have 2 castles now, and he does have a 3rd castle on the way, so both these players will get very, very soon to pretty much 200 population each. Yeah, there we are. And we'll see. Castle coming out for the Viper on the right hand side. It's going to result in the same. We saw the left hand side castle. It's going to get delayed a little bit. Definitely TaToH's units will be a little bit of a nuisance, but they are not going to be strong enough to deny the castle, so the castle's coming up no matter what. That's going to increase the Viper's production potential for castle units by 25%. But I still don't see what the Viper's really thinking of going. It cannot just be skirmishers. Skirmishers will take archer units down, but the halberdier, they can still take the skirmishers down. There's a unit that we have talked about this several times in the past, right? You have standard skirmishers, they will take down spearmen. You have elite skirmishers, they will take down pikemen. Once you get to the Imperial Age and the pikemen become halberdier with plate mail armor, the skirmishers, they cannot scale anymore, right? Like you can go for bracer in chemistry, that's going to be 2 extra attack, and then the halberdier with plate mail armor, or they get 2 extra pierce armor, so your units don't scale as well anymore. And yeah, I just don't think the Viper's skirmisher play over here is going to get him much of anything. He needs to go for something else, and he's going for Onager, which I like. He's going for light cavalry right now. We'll see how he manages to make that work. But right now, against Viper's army, it seems to me like TaToH should be fine with, honestly, just halberdier. Blowens is here, light cavalry is there for TaToH as well. Leather archer armor. Chain barded armor is coming in as well. Yeah, and the Onager upgrades here already, so TaToH is respecting the Onager from the Viper. It cannot really approach the castle. And then on the right hand side, TaToH just ends up getting pushed away from this area. Can I get the castle up anymore in the Viper? Well, the Viper has TaToH kind of cornered, interestingly enough, even if he does not really have the ability to push him back. If TaToH pushes out, right? Like over here, this is where the Viper's got most of his units on the right hand side, not so much on the right hand side. He's very much vulnerable. But TaToH's just gone for rocketry, so these guys get extra damage. The 2 canoes are fantastic. 8 plus 6. So that is bracer, chemistry, and rocketry. And interestingly enough, these guys already with bracer, they get 7 range. That is still going to be less than the Onager, right? The Onager now with siege engineers, which the Viper has researched, they already have 9 range. So these 2 canoes, they gotta be careful. On paper, they should be able to take down the Onagers if they are able to dance around the projectiles, but it's going to be pretty difficult, of course. So we have Hussar for the Viper. They clean out the light cavalry from TaToH. That's to be expected. TaToH won't be able to fight the Hussar with his light cavalry. He's gonna need a halberdier or camels. Right now, halberdier is what he's got at hand. He does have the heavy camel upgrade, however, though. So TaToH seems to me like he didn't know exactly what to go for. He upgraded everything just in case. And now he is struggling, right, against the Viper. Let's take a look. There's a lot of halberdier coming out, and the others are over there, and TaToH is just dancing back and forth, and that is not good. What is he doing? What is he doing? I think he was probably just patrolling, and then he forgot to change the stance of the units. So he was probably on stand ground. He ended up losing all the halberdier without really attacking any units, and up in the north, he's going for his own push, though. He's got a lot of chickens over here. The camels he's brought over. He's got light cavalry as well. One of the churches does go down to the Viper's units, but gas is going to crumble from the red player no matter what by the looks of it. What is the plan then for the Viper to contain this push? It doesn't seem like he's got one. On the left hand side, he's focusing the majority of his efforts, the majority of his military power in pushing against TaToH, so he's not really going to have the means to defend himself against TaToH's push, and in the end, it doesn't seem like he's even going to be able to keep the Onagers alive, and if the Onagers go down, then the halberdier are going to run rampant, and indeed, the Onagers do go down, and now TaToH should be able to push the Viper away with just halberdier on the left hand side. On the right hand side, he gets another castle up, close to where he wanted to get the original one, next to the gold. It's going to be enough to take the TC down from the Viper. Meanwhile, at the center, TaToH's push continues relentlessly. The blue player has managed to survive against the Viper civilization, and you know, the puzzle pieces have proven enough so far. We'll see if he'll be able to seal the deal, as the Viper quite clearly cannot make a play for Cavalier anymore. And Hussar on their own right might still be very strong, but that might be a unit he might want to use for going forward and getting the raids going, not necessarily defend against, as given that TaToH's got camels and halberdier into the mix. However, the Viper does manage to end up taking all the trebuchets down. There's gonna be hundreds of resources down the drain for TaToH. He's trying to go for extra trebs right now himself as well. Oh, and check this out. How smart is this from TaToH? He tried to come in here, and the Viper got the quick walls up, and TaToH immediately sent a light cavalry around to see if it was open up in the north. Or did he already know? But well, we cannot really know right now anymore, right? Actually, we can. Let me go back about 1 minute. Yeah, he didn't know. He suspected it. But he didn't know. So sending the scout around was actually very good. Here we are. Chicken is against the Arbalisters. The Viper is going for Arbalisters, not going to be just the cavalry anymore. Yeah, both these players just trying to send some meat shields, but of course both Chickenus and Arbalisters will shred the scout line units. TaToH's are a little bit weaker though. He's got just light cavalry right now, of course. The Viper is on Winged Hussar. But the Anger's is coming up for TaToH right now, so that's gonna make it a little bit trickier for the Viper to keep on pushing with the Arbalisters alone. He's gonna need to respect TaToH's army, but TaToH does need to go for the units, and he's going finally for an Anger right now. The Viper, wow! The Viper is going for the Imperial technology for Pulse. That is Lahitic Legacy. That will make these Winged Hussar get AoE damage. They will have trample damage. Kind of like a Logistica Cataphract. Although I don't think quite as good, of course. And between that and the bonus damage that the Winged Hussar and the Scout Cavalry units from the Viper in general get against Archer units, TaToH's gotta be extremely careful not to let the Winged Hussar close the gap against the Chickenus though, because this is what happens. They can end up taking losses, however, numbers are better now for TaToH. Doesn't end up pushing him away. Yeah, where's the Anger? Where are the Angers from TaToH? It's got 2 on the way. There we are. Pulse better civilization late game. That's what we were talking about during the Fuel chat thing. We were talking about the matchup, right? And how even with the versatility of the Chinese, you'll still need to respect the Poles quite a lot, because even if you get all the puzzle pieces with the Chinese to put together pretty much a counter against anything, the Viper's not really going to rely necessarily on the unit composition so much as he's going to rely on the unit volume, right? And the spam and the swarm and his strong economy. And right now it seems like TaToH send up, keeping all the churches alive for the time being. It's going to try and take on the trebuchets from the Viper, so this is going to turn into Trev War. The Unger's there, and the Unger's going to take the Unger's down from TaToH, so no Angers left for anybody anymore. I think TaToH did get a nice shot over here, though, against the Arbalisters. You can see them dead. But what an interesting game so far. The Viper's got more villagers. It's got a more balanced economy. But TaToH's got a stronger military count right now, which is not necessarily what I was expecting in this matchup, because of precisely what we were discussing earlier. The Angers here for both players. The Angers are here for both players. One goes down right away from TaToH to the Viper's Arbalisters, and now another one goes down from TaToH to the Viper's Winged Hussar. And it seems like the red player is looking stronger over here, guys. If he's able to overtake TaToH's military over here, Viper's going to get some great momentum, and TaToH started to crumble a little bit, starting to fall apart at the seams. Viper on the other hand, Viper's going to pick up some great momentum. Another 100 going down from the Viper, and this is just a cemetery of units here at this point already. And unfortunately for TaToH, the Chickanees are not strong enough in their own right, and like how you're not strong enough in their own right either. Even combined, it's going to be pretty difficult against the Wind Hussar and our ballistas that we have from the Viper. So it seems to me like TaToH is seeing the end of the line over here, coming his way extremely quickly as the Viper keeps on pushing further and further. He's going to corner TaToH. Even if there is some space on the left-hand side for TaToH to keep on extending over, he doesn't really have the means to do so. He doesn't really have access to gold anymore. TaToH cannot go for too many Chickanees. He's got what he's got, and that's about it. He's got 23 Chickanees queued up, to be fair, yes. But it's from 2 castles. It's going to take forever for him to actually get those units out, and even then he's not really going to be able to keep on replenishing them anymore, even if he ended up getting 3 out of the 5 relics. The Viper on the other hand is the only player with still access to gold somewhere. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, the Wind Hussar would still go down to halberdier, but obviously the Viper's army composition over here does account for that as well. We have our ballisters, we have onagers. And the Viper right now, he's just banking the gold. Another Travis on the way, but then he's not really going for any extra gold units, right? He's got a good amount of our ballisters still, and it's just going to be full Wind Hussar. It's going to get away with it, of course. 79 pole farmers around full works. It'll be extremely difficult to stop. Now the TaToH goes down for the Viper though, but he does have another one still. While TaToH's gonna try to get the counter rates going. And there's a beautiful move! Take a look at that! The Viper, he's got so much exposed economy on the back, but the Hussar, the Wind Hussar from the Viper already enough to take on the light cavalry though. If TaToH cannot raid, if TaToH cannot defend himself, what options does the Spaniards still have over here? And I would go as far as to say none. And even the Chickanees are not targeting the correct units. There's just too much going on over here, and TaToH seems to struggle to keep up with everything, while the Viper on the other hand has done a good job of putting the pressure up. And I think, okay, so he's collecting gold from here, and then he's got gold up here as well. How much do we have left for the Viper? Not that it matters, since he's going just for Wind Hussar for the most part. But it seems like it's going to be about 2,300 resources that he's got left. The Viper's Trails are approaching once again to trebuchets. It's going to end up getting over 3,000 gold if he keeps on going for just Wind Hussar for the most part before the gold runs out. TaToH, he's got 169 to work with right now, and the relics are certainly generating and helping a little bit, alleviating the pressure, but just barely. This is like, you know, trying to spray a wildfire. Just not going to be enough. The Viper is going to continue blazing. Extremely hot around TaToH's economy, and in the next few minutes, and as castle crumbles, TaToH will find himself a lot more exposed. He's got a good amount of Chickanees. Once again though, managed to get most of these out, 57 already. But is that going to be enough? Here come the angels from the Viper, and TaToH's gotta respect this. TaToH's gotta respect this, and he's going after the engine right away. He gets one down, and he gets another one, and TaToH buys himself a little bit of time as such. But yeah, the Viper, my lord, he's got 31 Wind Hussar in the queue. He can go for extra angels if he wants to. I think that'll be a good choice given the situation right now, but honestly, with the Wind Hussar on their own, this might actually be enough for the Viper already. Remember that they do get bonus damage against archer type units, so if you can close the gap, yeah, might be able to get some good damage done. However, this is a ball of death from TaToH. That is that is going to shred absolutely everything, even the wings are. But here comes the Viper once again. We have the Halberdier who's going to come out on top over here. We have Windazar against TaToH and the Archer's over there as well. But the Archer's going to be exposed and now it's probably going to go down. Let's see if the Viper's going to go after it, and he does go after it. So the Archer crumbles. The Viper's got a fantastic meat shield to work with right now as well. The Arbalisters, the Wing Hussar. We reduce the TaToH down to 17, 18 TaToH. TaToH calls the GG before that drops even further, and the Viper. The Viper gets game number 1 to get the lead in the series. And there we are. Absolutely fantastic performance for Mr. Viper. Better KD. We have for economy, a stronger economy for the Viper. Surprising no one, 6,000 extra resources from the Folwark farming economy. For society, we have a stronger villager max count for the Viper as well, by about 3. That's gonna be about it, so let's just go back and wait for game number 2. Let's update the draft and see what we get for the second one. And yes, sir, once again, we have gray and yellow for these players. That's not going to do for us. We're just going to switch TaToH over to the blue color, the Viper over to the red color. And yeah, talk about the civilizations. TaToH does indeed make use of Turks here. I was suspecting Turks might have been for Nomad, but I am not really sure what the plan is over here for him. There are a few things he can go for, of course, and we're going to talk about the civilizations in a moment, but let's actually talk about it now. Starting with TaToH civilization. Quite conveniently, the Turks are going to get 25% faster working gold miners. Besides that, we get also 25% higher HP on gunpowder units. TaToH's going to get, with the Turks, in addition to all those things, is gonna have free chemistry, a 50% discount on gunpowder units, as well as light cavalry and hussar for free, and 1 extra pierce armor on those units. For the team bonus, finally, the gunpowder units do get trained 25% faster for TaToH civilization. But yeah, the light cavalry and hussar upgrades for free can actually make a big difference for TaToH. Why? Well, go figure. With the civilization, TaToH is gonna have, of course, the gold right away over here. Has to work in gold miners. It's gonna be great, and with light cavalry and hussar upgrades for free, he could start putting pressure already from the castle age, right? He goes for a few scouts in the fuel age to get some scouting information, or on his way to the castle age, then he gets light cavalry upgrade instantly, and if he's able to beat the Viper to it, could potentially get some good damage done. There's also the possibility for TaToH to make a play for Janissaries over here. He does have the stone right next to the TC, and let's take a look at the TC location specifically. So for the blue player, he does have the stone, he does have the gold right next to the TC. That's a beautiful TC spot, by the way. 2 wood lines. He's already collected the boar. He's got another boar over here. He's got another boar over here as well. Plenty of hunting. And access to, of course, both waters. Although he's gone for the dock up in the north, as we can see. There is the lake over here up in the north. There is the outer water over here towards the southeast. Let me take a look to see what kind of vision TaToH's got over here. So he knows about the water. And he is about to find out about the center lake. So it's good. He's trying to find a boar. He's going to very soon. There's a boar on the right hand side that he is already aware of. But he's going to collect this one. Alright, that's good. That's great actually. He just ran into it. Oh, wait. Is he seeing if this is connected or disconnected? The village has got a hammer. I'm just going for a house. Okay, well, the Viper on the other hand, he's playing with Malians. So, for the red player, we have a 15% discount on buildings. For Malians, we'll get 30% longer lasting golds, in addition to... Here we are. Beautiful. In addition to 1 extra pierce armor on barracks units per age starting in the fuel age. So up to +3 in the Imperial age. Besides that, the Malians also get for the team bonus 80% faster work in universities, and that's going to be about it. Hey, look at TaToH vs Viper is the real. Is the Real versus Barca AOE. In a sense, you can say that. But yeah, let's take a look at the TC location of the Viper. We already know the TaToH's TC location is absolutely fantastic. Now for the red player, we have one stone right next to the TC, so that is good. The main goal is going to be up in the north, or actually the goal closest to Viper's TC is going to be up in the north, a little bit farther away compared to TaToH's goal location compared to his TC, right? But I would say it's probably alright. Like the Viper's got wood, he's got stone, he's got gold, he's got hunting as well. I'm not really sure. I think TaToH ended up taking the extra board that was available on the right hand side, right? That one probably could have been taken by the Viper as well, but it seems like TaToH beat him to the punch. So that is good for the bull player and the Viper. The Viper's going up to the fuel age. So it seems to me like Viper will try to get water control. Going up to the fuel age and 21 population over here. It's got to be for Navy production. It's got 2 docks already, and he's got a pretty good idea where TaToH is, simply by scouting with the herd of wolves and losing one over here. And TaToH actually doesn't know about the dock over here for the Viper. This is one that just recently came up. And he knows about the dock from the Viper on the right hand side, though. He knows about this one. Of course, there is Manchester City, Mr. Yo. What do Malians do versus Turk bombard cannons? Well, that's way down the line. We're gonna see what TaToH does against Viper's Navy push in the fuel age. I don't think it's gonna be much. I think TaToH's just trying to fast castle himself over here. He's got an outpost coming up. And the Viper? Oh, the Viper's gonna go for land aggression as well, not just Navy. He's got a barracks coming up, and he knows where TaToH is. TaToH, he doesn't know that the Viper knows that he's here, but now he knows that the Viper knows. So the Viper knows that TaToH knows that he knows that he's here. And it's just going to remove any sort of mind games anymore. As it's quite clear, the Viper's going to try to put pressure, and TaToH won't be able to get away with the fast castle anymore. He's going to have to defend himself, right? But I don't see a barracks coming after TaToH whatsoever. And here comes the Viper, the first fire got to come out from the dock up in the north. Fantastic. Predictions? Do you mean to say predictions? I have stopped going for predictions for the most part for TTL because we usually don't have enough people interested in them. But we can definitely enable them if you're interested in playing. TaToH knows the Viper knows. The TaToH knows the Viper knows that he knows that he knows that he knows. Mind games? Well, now both. The walls, I guess, is going to amount to some sort of defenses, but this is just going to delay Viper's push. Viking can go around with the archers, right? Around the left-hand side and come in anyway. TaToH's sending a bunch of villagers over to get the walls up. Could potentially go around the right-hand side of the Viper as well and still get to TaToH's soft underbelly. So while TaToH does end up getting away with a fast castle, and this is going to be a castle drop Janissary play. This is what I was hoping to see. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the case, but I was really hoping to see TaToH try and make a play for Janissaries over here. So it's going to be kind of like the Spanish, right? Like the Spanish conquistador play, except that without the castle coming up as quickly and without the conquistadors, or without the gunpowder units, actually the Janissaries in this case being as mobile as the conquistadors are. But yeah. Told Jeff, since he knows what he knows, he doesn't defend. But here comes the Viper, and TaToH actually got away with the walls. I didn't think he was going to be able to necessarily, but that's really well played. That is really well played from TaToH. The Viper could definitely have gotten a lot of extra damage down over here. And TaToH is only 40 seconds away from the castle age. The Viper is getting very close to having enough resource to click up himself as well. We'll see. Here we are. In such close distance, he could have a chance. He was bringing the villagers out, but he could not go for the castle drop that he wanted to. I'm pretty sure he wanted to drop the TC. He had vision of it already. With all the archers that we have from the Viper around, that was just not a possibility. So the castle's coming up and the Viper knows about it. One villager has gone down already for TaToH over here. There we are. Siege workshop on the way for TaToH as well, and he's got a lot of catching up to do. The Viper not only took the fisher ships down from TaToH, but he took the opportunity to get further ahead as well. He went for a few extra. TaToH's finally losing the final one. And yeah, the Viper is right now on an 8 villager lead against TaToH. The Janissaries are going to start pouring in. He's got a ram on the way. This is beautiful. The army combination over here, the army composition for TaToH, rams in Janissaries, will make this so much stronger than if it was just going for the Janissaries on their own right. So ideally, he wants to go for yet another ram. That's gonna be difficult. 150 resources just don't pop out of the blue. He almost has it. Come on, man, go for it. No, he's going for farms. He's going for farms. He kind of needs to right now. He does have the berries, though. I would probably prefer for him to try and go and collect food from berries to keep the production going. And then maybe just go for one extra ram. But it's so difficult, though. The Janissaries are so damn pricey. To be honest, TaToH is struggling even to keep the villager production going right now. He's got 4 Janissaries. There is so much catching up to do for TaToH once again, and the Viper's getting to the castle age in a much better position. It's got double stable night production already. It's got a 34. Worker economy, 5 extra compared to TaToH. Let's take a look. Here come the archers. And TaToH is going to get cleaned up, but it seems to me like the Janissary play over here, the fast castle drop, Turk play on Nomad is not working out against the Viper. Well, quite clearly, you might be thinking, duh, right now. We are seeing it. And TaToH knows, of course, is not going to be a stranger to obvious situations. So he's just going to call the GG, and the Viper will end up taking game number 2. But this puts TaToH in an awkward spot. If he takes game number 3 from the Viper, it's gonna lose just 1 point, and the Viper is going to win just 1 point. We'll take a look at the achievements. Better KD for the Viper, about 9-2. Exactly 9-2. For economy, a stronger economy for the Viper as well, surprising no one. The only player with access to water after the fuel age. And yeah, game number 3 is still going to make a big difference. TaToH cannot take the first spot anymore, but he can prevent Viper from getting a stronger lead on him. If he takes game number 3, then TaToH is, I believe, still going to stand second against the Viper. But the Viper is going to have only 2 points. It's going to have a 3-point lead, I think. Right now, I think he's got a 1-point lead. We're going to take a look at the standings and try to figure it out. But for the time being, let's go back across the civs and wait for game number 3. And we find ourselves in game number 3. Then once again, the Viper. We're going to switch over to the red column. This is exactly the situation we were talking about, right? Desert terrain, the yellow is not going to be the best color. But anyway, TaToH's got Mayans to play with for Arabia for game number 3. The Viper. The Viper is going to play with Portuguese, actually. And right off the bat, I'm liking the Mayans over here so much better. But we cannot rule the Viper out. Why? Because it's the snake. He's the GOAT. The greatest of all time. And you can never rule the GOAT out. But the civilization matchup over here, it's always going to be, in my opinion, more so about the players than about the civilizations. Speaking of the civs though, however, we're going to talk about both of these. Starting with the Mayans, TaToH. TaToH will get, first off, with the Mayans, one extra villager at the expense of 50 food. Besides that, we also have for TaToH civilization, 15% longer lasting resources is going to get, in addition to that, 10, 20, and 30% cheaper archer units in the feudal, castle, and imperial ages. Now, predictions are open, guys, for who takes game number 3. And we have TaToH for option 1. We have the Viper for option 2. And you have 5 minutes to get the predictions going. Alright. But yeah, finally the Mayans will get also for the team bonus a 40% discount on walls, while the Viper on the other hand, playing with the Portuguese, will get a 20% gold discount to military units. It's gonna have also access to Factory in the Imperial Age and 30% faster research and upgrades. Finally, and as a new addition to the Portuguese civilization, they do collect 25% wood out of the berry bushes. So for each unit of berries they collect, each unit of food that they collect, they're going to get 0.25 units of wood. How the Mayans defeat gunpowder though? Well, if you are to follow history, you don't. So, yeah, once again, it's really kind of getting ahead, right? We were talking about gunpowder. How do the Malians beat the bombard cannon from the Turks in the previous game? Well, you gotta get there first. We're gonna see if the Viper gets to gunpowder first. TaToH civilization, in my opinion, is going to be the better one for a map like Arabia. But yeah, of course, still going to be very much dependent on how the players go about this. Now, TaToH's got militias coming out. So he's gonna go for it. Before he gets there, let's take a look at his map generation really quickly. So TaToH's got the main goal on the back. He's got the secondary gold down the south. He's got gold on the left-hand side as well. And then we have the main stone on the left-hand side. We have on the right-hand side secondary stone over here on the back as well. That's gonna be good. Seems like TaToH's gonna wall like this though, however. So you might be able to secure the gold over here, but not so much the stone, not so much this gold, the stone either. Before the militias get to Viper's base, let's take a look at the red players' map generations. Got the main goal forward, secondary goal forward, the other secondary goal forward. Finally, a map generation that does not seem to be extremely favorable for the Viper. He's got the main stone forward as well. The secondary stone is not forward, but it's so far away on the left-hand side that it's not safe at all on the Viper. The Viper's not going for the walls right now. And here come the militias. Here comes the scout. If the Viper was paying attention to the fog of war, he might have realized the deer going down over there. Otherwise, this has been just an extremely quick wall reaction from the Viper. It doesn't seem like TaToH's gonna be able to get too much damage down, but we'll see. He's trying to block the villager. He's gonna try to block her. He cannot do it! And the quick walls are coming up for the Viper! Yeah, and just not on time. Here we are. Viper's getting to the fuel H. 21 population, so this is obviously not going to be a fast castle of any kind. He's just going for a standard archer play. And while the Viper might end up cleaning up the units from TaToH, or at the very least, he is not losing any units himself, and he's chunking a lot of HP off TaToH's units, he has been disrupted a little bit. Having to go for the quick walls. Losing HP on his own villagers. Yeah, this is actually an interesting position. TaToH holds on over here. Okay, well, not anymore. It was going to be able to prevent the Viper from actually going for a mining camp, but not the case. But here comes TaToH though. The Viper just deleted the walls. And TaToH, he's just trying to get idle villager time. Is he going to be able to do it though? He almost gets a villager. With the Viper, feels to me like it was probably calculated. Just waited and brought the villager back. So the FLH is here for TaToH. He's got some villagers going forward. He's going to go for a 4th archer range. He already has the barracks back home. Of course, he was going for militias, right? And interestingly enough, he's going for Minotaurs right now after having gone for 2 additional militias. So these ones are probably going down to the archer eventually, but he does have 2 additional ones over here. And Minotaurs will be so much harder for the Viper to defend against compared to just the militias. Tower on the way for TaToH, and an extremely blunt one. Not even gonna try and hide it beyond the line of sight from the Viper. I don't know if that'll be possible, actually. I don't think it'll be possible given Viper's point of view. Nah, he wouldn't have been able to go for the tower in a location where the Viper wouldn't have seen it. But he's got the Minotaurs now. He's got skirmishes coming out. It's gotta be careful. That's not taking the scout down. The Minotaurs are still here, and TaToH. TaToH's getting trapped though! The Viper's getting the quick walls! My lord! TaToH has just fallen victim of the Viper's infamous traps. He's forced into the left-hand side, and the tower goes down right away. The Viper probably could have trapped TaToH if he had actually gone for the walls over here by the goal, right? And now TaToH is getting still, well, not really trapped anymore. The Viper is spending a lot of resources over here that aren't really preventing TaToH from walking away, so that is not ideal, but I guess he's in the end just going to make this part of his walls anyway. Yeah, probably. If only he had trapped him from the other side too? Yeah. That could have been GG already? I think so. I think so for sure. And TaToH to be the one to walk away. At the first road bump. Just going to turn around with the villagers and try to strike once again. Because of the location of Viper's towers over here, and because of TaToH having extra stone to go for additional towers, we can see that the bull player can go for a tower still, probably around here. And if he gets away with it, then he is going to end up pushing the Viper away from the goal anyway. And we saw already that the Viper's resources are very exposed. He's got the secondary gold over here. The other secondary gold is very far away as well. I don't see it right now on the minimap. Where is it? Yeah, like none of the resources for the other secondary goal for the Viper. Oh, it was this one. I saw this one on the minimap, but I had forgotten that was the Vipers, and I thought that must be a neutral one. So far it is. But yeah, TaToH is going for one tower over here to push the Viper away from the wool line. Viper will still be able to collect from the right-hand side, from the south. So instead, he needs to go for a tower over here on the right-hand side. And he's got enough units right now, TaToH that is, to protect his villagers, so he should be able to get away with this. He's got all 4 villagers still. Probably would like for him to keep 1 villager back so that he can go for some palaces around here, but yeah, it doesn't seem like the Viper is in a position to roam around the villagers and take this down at all. Otherwise, he will expose himself to the Eagle Scouts, to the Minotaurs, to the Skirmishers. Dude, thank you for putting everything on YouTube. Super convenient. My pleasure, Link Chaos. Nice to see that it's appreciated, of course. Videos are coming up daily. Sometimes not with a thumbnail finish and with the correct title, but I do what I can. For a single dude with 2 jobs. Hey, I guess I can say that now, right? I have to work 2 jobs and study at the same time. Of course, streaming is one of those, so I cannot say that streaming is going to be like a third thing. Beautiful. Tower comes up and the Viper gets pushed away. This is exactly what I was expecting to see from TaToH, and he went for it. Now the Viper is gonna try and go forward and get a counter push going against TaToH. TaToH's reaction is not particularly quick. He realized about it now and manages to garrison the villages before taking any losses. So up until this point, nobody has taken a single villager loss. However, let me check this. What is TaToH's next step going to be down south? He's going to start collecting the stone over there. He realized about this as well. He's got the Minotaurs, 1 Minotaurs. He's got Eagle Scouts for the most part. It will still be strong enough to take one of the Scouts down from the Viper. And while the quick walls are coming out for the red player, I don't know if he's actually trapping TaToH or if he's trapping himself with TaToH here. My lord, the Viper is actually taking a lot of damage. Yeah, it's probably going to end up taking the units down, right? Yes, but this is turning into a very, very hectic game. There's just so much going on. On the back, the Viper will end up clearing these units out, but he has taken a few losses himself. This has not come for free. Scouts mainly have kind of taken the fall. On the right-hand side, the Viper's the one trying to put pressure. Behind TaToH's base, he's gonna be unable to. TaToH's walls are already up. And TaToH already pulled the villagers away from stone as well. He even went for extra walls. Extra tower coming out for TaToH. This is just to defend the villagers, so that he can keep on collecting stone. Yes, because now he doesn't really have any military anymore to defend his economy with. Viper's gonna be the first player to go out to the castle stage though, and TaToH was so close to getting the tower off, but it seems like the villagers are going down, and yes, sir! The Viper denies the tower at 91%. 4 villagers crumble for TaToH. 6 clicks out to the castle age. He finds himself going up a little bit later compared to the Viper, not much more though. Not chat here with you, you're chatting here with me. Exactly. That's the kind of situation I was talking about, but in the end, the Viper does end up cleaning TaToH's units up. It seems like he might actually end up cleaning TaToH's defense units up as well, defensive units up. As a matter of fact, if Viper plays his cards right, he can get a villager. Nah, he can't, the spearmen are there. But yeah, anyway, TaToH does end up going out to the castle age. It's going to be still a 20-second lead to it for the Viper. Scaled Barden Armor's coming out for the Norwegian player as well. So we know what to expect. We're probably going to see a second stable. Yes. We have the second stable. We have the archer range coming up right now as well. It's going to be knights and crossbows for the Viper. Incredibly strong army composition. The only thing that he'll be missing after going for that will be a siege workshop, but you know, there's a beautiful spot for the Viper to go for a siege workshop over here. It'll be on the hill, and he'll be able to deny this. He'll be able to take this down, come in, and potentially go after the TC later from here. Yeah. Buccaneers coming out for the Viper now. Crossman upgrade. Knights on the way. Yes. You know, alternatively, he could go for a siege workshop on the left-hand side. TaToH is making a play for Eagles right now. Himself. But yeah, alternatively, the Viper. Wow! Wow, that's gonna be GG right away. This is so weird, though, for TaToH to call the GG over here. I mean, he was only starting to go for the units. And we didn't even see an engagement take place over here. Just skirmishes go down. What does he need skirmishes for, right? Scat Eagles should be able to take on the archers, the scouts just fine. But yeah, TaToH does not want to keep on going anymore. I guess it's respecting the Viper's position over here and does not want to fight anymore. And I would say that I don't understand the GG myself either, but he did take a bunch of losses, right? The village is going down, the fact that the Viper got out to the castle edge earlier. I think probably TaToH found himself discouraged and not really willing to go for much more anymore. I don't think TaToH was feeling it today, maybe? Yeah, probably. So before we quit, and this is something that I've been trying to find a good workaround for the YouTube videos, I wanted to include some information related to the standings. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to summarize the standings of the group at the end of each series, so that the people watching YouTube can also know what the situation is for the group stage. So for Group D, the Viper finds himself right now with 4 Series 1, 10 wins, 2 losses for games, and he's got 10 points. TaToH finds himself with 2-2 after the 4 series, 2 Series 1, 2 Series lost, and he's got 6 points. He's in the 2nd spot. And then Vilesa is going to be 2-1, 5 points in the 3rd spot. Sita is going to be 1-1, 3 points in the 4th spot. Bars is going to be 0-3 with 3 points in the 5th spot. And Sebastian, 2002, is going to be 0-2 with 0 points in the 6th spot. And I'm going to show the standings on stream, but this should suffice at the very least for you to get an idea. Better KD for the Viper in the end is going to be a little bit better than 3-2. As a matter of fact, for economy, we have a stronger economy for the Viper as well, collecting about 400 extra resources. That is not really a lot, right? So I would imagine his economy, his worker efficiency kind of took a hit for the worst because of that. Yeah, and well, there we go. Society. We have a better work account towards the end of the game for the Vipers. He was going up a little bit earlier. He was able to start getting ahead, right? But it was not by a huge lead. Let's go back.